What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Thunder Sports Pod. It's been a while since we've held an episode, but we've got some special guests today with us. Former friend, and on the show, he was here a few months ago during the middle point of the baseball season for MLB. Now we're at the World Series. PTSD play-by-play.
Yeah. How are you guys? I'm more than honored to be on your show, Thunder Sports Podcast. It's a true honor, and thank you for this opportunity.
Of course. And then we've got another special guest with us. We've got Aiden, and will give us some insight on some baseball today as well.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you guys.
All right. So the first topic at hand, guys. What do you think about just the entirety of the baseball playoffs so far in the MLB, and what stood out to you?
Mm. Jeez. Uh, except for that Dodgers series, but it was kind of like back and forth. Like every other series, it's been close, like pretty close, especially the Tigers and who they play. But
Astros, I think.
um,
Yeah.
I'll look it up here. But it's just been really close so far. All the
That's
games have been.
true.
Mm,
Yeah, the
maybe like-
Braves losing to the Padres round one. I know they've been pretty injury depleted, and their best players haven't been on the field for them. But the Padres, they beat them round one, obviously, and then the Mets, man, they had a crazy run. I predicted them to make the World Series middle of the year, not knowing how far they would go. Um, and they had to win their last regular season game to even get into the playoffs. So,
yeah.
and then obviously knocking off PTSD's Phillies the next round, unfortunately.
All right. You knocked on my door. I'm gonna open it. Before I get into sports, I really want to send all my thoughts and prayers out to anyone affected to both hurricanes that happened almost simultaneously. I don't just hang that flag just for decor, guys. I love my country, proud veteran. Let's give a lot of recognition and do your best to go out there and donate, have it be blood or give a any water or toilet paper, anything you can to support the cause. Uh, into baseball, New York Yankees are 7-2 in the postseason. I'm not shocked about that. They are absolutely stacked to the gill. Here's what I'm shocked about. Now, this was in June, but the last time Dodgers and Yankees faced off was in June. LA won the 3-game series against the Bronx Bombers, including an 11-3 routing. It's regular season, I get it, and it was honestly 3-4 months ago, but still, that's got to be in a Yankees mind, like right back here in the back of their cranium. Oh God, do you remember that game, guys? Yeah, I do. The locker room's got to be whispering stuff like that.
Exactly. And we'll see how far that can carry them in the World Series. But there's been a lot of surprising wins so far in the postseason of the MLB and
True,
leading up
true.
to the World Series. Any more final thoughts about leading up to the championship?
Mm,
I'm still consoling myself off that Mets catastrophe. That was terrible. How about you, Aiden? Who's your team?
teams talking about favorite team, talking
Oh,
about the
absolutely.
talking about the Cardinals, and they didn't do so hot, so can't really talk about them anymore right now. But
I'm
uh,
on that same boat.
yeah, but I was watching the Guardians. It was the one that I was talking about earlier. Is the Guardians and Yankees, and just surprised of how toe the Guardians went with the Yankees, and like we're talking about like Yankees take the lead in top of the eighth, Guardians tie in the bottom of the eighth. Yankees hit two more homers on top of the ninth against their best closer, and then the Guardians come back to beat what's his face from the closer. But I was That was really fun, especially like I think it's like Game 5, Game
Mm,
6. But and honestly, if it wasn't for Stanton being extremely high right now, Judge is actually being pulled.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and it's funny, not to like sidetrack right here, but Kike Hernandez, the outfielder for the Dodgers, has like so much better postseason stats than Judge, and
Wow.
it's not
I
even
didn't
close.
know that.
Yeah,
mm.
and it's like
Interesting
who's
little tidbit there for our viewers.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
well done, Nathan.
yeah,
But
no,
that's
yeah,
honestly, that's I mean, you love to see that in any sport, back and forth battles between two extremely talented teams, and the Yankees inevitably won that matchup. But um, a team that really surprised me was the Detroit Tigers as well. I mean,
mm,
they were the sixth seed. They went toe to toe against the Guardians. Um, they upset the Astros in round one, and they
That
have a
was shock.
yeah, they have a lot of young players on that team that they brought up from their farm teams in the minor leagues, and ultimately they traded away a lot of vets mid-season, and they were banking on those players to really just get the chemistry, the camaraderie going for that entire team. The managers, they trusted the young guys, and they paid off big time. So,
Kudos on your research. Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
sir. Well,
It was Houston too. The DNA Houston.
exactly.
No,
Big time. All right. So, next question. Topic we got. Which key players need to step up for both the Yankees and the Dodgers to win the World Series?
Go ahead,
ooh,
Dave.
I want, might be a minute. Hold on. I'm looking at
You're good. Anybody feel free to speak on it?
Okay. I'll go first, Aiden, if that's okay.
Sounds good.
Go
All right.
ahead.
All right. I don't know if anybody ever out there played the game of baseball, but I know the catcher position holds a lot of responsibility.
Mm,
Dodgers catcher Will Smith. No, I'm not talking getting jiggy with it. Uh, Will Smith, he had only 4 hits in 6 games,
mm,
which included numerous LA blowouts versus the Mets.
mm,
I'm flabbergasted on how he considers himself a professional. Look, I understand the only two people that are guaranteed to see action every pitch is the pitcher and catcher.
mm,
That's got to be mind numbing. Your preparation for a game is top tier, bigger than any outfielder or infielder. So I'm sure
mm,
Will Smith has his plate full. But for crying out loud, that statistic of hits, it juggles me. I'm every time I try to put a ball in the air, I drop it. Every time I try to put sense to how many hits he hasn't had. Uh, on the other flip side of the coin, you got Yankees third baseman Chaz Chisholm Jr. Late July acquisition from Miami. His speed on the bags can be the absolute X factor.
mm.
Uh, Former All Star, the guy he seems to be completely underrated. I apologize, JT. I know that's one of your topics coming up, but Jazz Chisholm, he doesn't get talked about enough because I think he's underproductive.
Mm. Great research on that. I mean, he is a phenomenal player, great talent, and I mean, if he plays exceptionally well, I don't see why not that they could take the title. Um, but honestly, some key players for both the Yankees and the Dodgers would consist of Giancarlo Stanton. Honestly, for the Yankees, if he continues his hot streak of just performing at a high level, uh, I, I think that they could take it all. The Yankees have been relying upon him, and the Dodgers, I would say Mookie Betts has to play
Yes, I was hoping
exceptionally.
you would say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mookie Betts is one of the most crucial players in order for this postseason to continue to fall in line with what they want to see. He can do it all. He's a phenomenal talent. And I mean, guys, there's 5 former MVPs going to be sharing the field simultaneously. We've got Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. So it's going to be star-studded. me and Aiden were talking about this the other day. I think he mentioned that this should be or will be the highest viewed MLB World Series ever recorded just because of how star-studded it is. And people are going to be wanting to watch and see this action.
It has to be up there. I don't know.
Yeah,
It has to be. I don't know.
absolutely. And not to mention real quick, Clayton Kershaw is hurt,
He's
and he's
always
another former MVP. Clayton Kershaw would be
Wow.
insane. He would be a
I
huge
did my
X factor.
research, and I did not find that. Oh my
Mm.
goodness.
and Glass now for the Rays.
Mm.
I think too. And I mean, he's just as good as Kershaw. I mean, he's a little more. He's like a little more in his prime right now. Kershaw's getting up there in age, but Glass now is
Yeah.
You, you know what, Aiden, you mentioned Glasnow. I remember June or July. It starts with J. June or July. Glasnow was on the shelf earlier in the year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's just one of the pick, like kind of like I think of Chris Sale for the Braves. He's always a little banged up. I mean, there's always he's gonna have guys, I guess.
Mhm. Very true.
They before we go, like I just want to see. We know like who won the MVP for the NLCS.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't check into it.
Tommy Edman, a
Huh.
guy that not a lot of people. The only reason
Mhm.
I know him is because he played for the Cardinals, but he is a like 5'10" guy. He
Yeah.
batted cleanup on the last game versus the Mets, and he won the. He has a 407 batting average during the whole series with I'm looking at right now 11 RBIs, 4 extra base
Mm.
hits, at least a hit in all 6 games. And I mean, people would
Mm.
think, oh, you got Freeman, you got Mookie, you got Shohei. I mean, but like a guy named Tommy Edman who, I mean, we have a bigger stature and, but like he can simply hit. That's all. And he
Absolutely.
just simply,
Exactly.
yeah.
JT's got the underrated Dodger later coming up. I want to throw him in there.
Mm. Big time. Um, so we can move on to the next topic at hand. So, how do you think the Yankees starting pitchers match up against the Dodgers?
Uh,
I just don't mind. Like I think the Yankees are that's what they're kind of known for is the bullpen.
Yeah.
Um, they were talking about they were comparing the Guardians bullpen and the
Mm.
Yankees considered just to have 4 main horses that they use, and it starts with Luke Weaver, the closer.
Mm.
Yeah,
Big time. And honestly, one thing I'll mention real quick that the Yankees have in their arsenal is reigning AL Cy Young winner, Garrett Cole.
oh, that's where I was going.
And I mean, he's just got a phenomenal arm, and ultimately, he could change a couple of ball games for the Yankees when it comes down to it. If he has to, he's got a plethora of options he can throw. Whatever he throws at you, it's going to be a surprise. But I think he's a great talent for New York, and it's
Absolutely.
honestly amazing to see how many stars are going to be in this World Series.
yeah,
I will definitely compliment your Garrett Cole, and I'd like to add, uh, we all know internet can be misleading or sometimes honestly just way off the top wrong. You honestly see some celebrities dying, like Taylor Swift a couple weeks ago. She's dead. What? Exactly. So some websites are just farce and false.
Yeah.
But Yankees Garrett Cole, correct me if I'm wrong, right elbow inflammation in September,
Mm.
and only 4 innings pitched, allowing 6 hits during game 2 of ALCS. That's to me completely unacceptable. New York Star, certainly not 100%. That's my opinion.
Mm.
Uh, I spoke of this on PTSD play by play, my channel. I would vote for this guy for president. No, I'm just kidding. But this guy, this pitcher is absolutely incredible. When the pressure's on you for the playoffs, this guy stands up. Dodgers Jake Flaherty, game one versus the Mets, 7 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts, allowing only 2 hits during the NLCS. He has
Mm.
ice in his veins. First Dodger pitcher to reach that distance in 20 postseason games. And just when you think it can't get any better, and 33 consecutive scoreless playoff innings pitched. I mean, you got to give it up to Jack.
Exactly. I mean, he's been playing phenomenal. I mean, you mentioned like that is highly commendable for his performance. But
All
um,
right. There's one more. I have to ask Richard.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
the game 5 against the Mets. I'm looking at it says not to go against your point, but allowed 8 runs over 3 innings. On the, it was like I mean, they beat them up in the just in 3 innings or something like that. And I was wondering about because the first game they played against the Mets, it was in L.A. and now it's in, and he played it in New York, and he didn't look at home like at all. So I'm wondering, and he's starting game 1 in this upcoming on the 25th, I think, is when the World Series starts. And
mhm.
The Friday, this Friday.
Yeah, it's 25th. Yeah.
Friday, okay. So I mean, depending on what stadium he played, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a home away thing. Maybe it's just one game, but it's interesting. He's starting game 1, so we'll see how it goes.
All I know is Philadelphia fans out there, we need free therapy from the next president at an elect. I mean, Philadelphia fans, let me paint this out to you. I know you're a Cardinal fan, Aaron. I apologize, JT, if I'm going off script for a second, but just let me get this off my chest. My Philadelphia Phillies set a freaking record going to the All Star game, setting an all time high 8 elected All Stars into the All Star game. They left the All Star game, and what happened? They all went in hibernation. Oh, gee, I guess we won the World Series. No, there's a second half of ball left to play,
Ooh.
fellas. What are you doing? The Phillies absolutely collapsed,
Mm,
and they miraculously won the NL East. And that was just because the Atlanta Braves were so injury struck.
mhm. Let me ask you both this question. I did not pay attention a ton to this, but was there a drastic difference of Bryce Harper during the regular season compared to his postseason play, or was he still a big factor contributing in the postseason?
You can go ahead, Richard.
Gee, thanks. Oh, where's the bartender? Okay, let's go into my Phillies. I wasn't prepared for this. Oh boy. All right, Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos are right fielder. Kudos. Hats off to you, gentlemen. You played your hearts out, not just at the plate, but both of them made spectacular defensive plays. Well done. Everyone else, I made a freaking video about it. JT, I apologize. I should have had the stats with me if I knew you were going to throw me under the bus with my Phillies. But JT Realmuto, I know this one, all-star catcher. 0 hits in the postseason. 0. You can't have that happen in the playoffs, especially with a key caliber player like JT. Oh, that was a disgrace.
Mm.
Yep. I don't smoke, but I need a cigarette.
I know Pastor Allen knows that this year he's been trying to work on a lot, but he has a lot of. I mean, he's kind of known to have some holes in his swing, as far as especially for the swing miss. And
Yeah.
was it like leading? I think he was in the top 3 of like strikeouts. I think, or either this year or last year. And Bryce Harper, honestly, is an interesting case because of he steps up in the moment. He's such a big time player, of course. But the cool, funny thing about baseball is if you watch it like a lot, like and Bryce Harper, any of the other players like superstars and stuff like that. If you watch enough, you'll see they go games 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 1 for 3 with a little dribble down the line or something. And I watched them. I watched them a little bit last year, and it really just depends on if you're hot or not in the playoffs. The funny thing about it is you don't have a whole lot of time to get hot.
Exactly.
You're cold, and before you know it, you're either going home, or if you're lucky, next week you got another series. But yeah, it's interesting.
It's disgustingly interesting. JT, you're
Oh.
killing me, buddy. You're not getting a Christmas card from me this year.
Oh, well, guys, I appreciate the Bryce Harper and Phillies
Yeah.
talk, but we'll go back to the World Series
Thank God. Oh,
conversation.
it's over.
All right,
Thank
so
God.
Yeah, we all know Bryce isn't going to get a ring. It's all right.
do you do you think the Yankees' historical run of World Series appearances gives them an edge in this regard?
I honestly forgot where in the hell we were because I was so lost in the Phillies. I have sweaty palms. I'm getting flushed in the face. Uh,
That's all right, no worries. I could give my 2 cents real quick, I
yeah.
guess, before you guys, either one of you want to speak on it. I mean, as a kid, hearing about the Yankees, I mean, it was just all the time. I mean, just different superstars coming up, just making huge plays. Derek Jeter, um, Alex Rodriguez. I mean, those guys were the staples of baseball during their time.
Oh,
So,
oh yeah.
and, and I mean, without them, I feel like you just can't imagine Yankee baseball. At least to me, there's several other key players back in history that would, exhibit what it means to be a Yankee. But having the World Series experience as they do, I think it will help them down the line if it does go to a game 6 or a game 7.
You spoke of Derek Jeter. Uh, Aiden, I apologize if you needed to talk. Do you want to talk, buddy?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay. When you
All right.
spoke of Derek Jeter and being an all-star Hall of Fame quality, first thing that came to mind, the last person to wear 42, New York Yankee closer Mariano Ramirez. Or, yeah.
Rivera.
Right, thank you. I apologize. Yes. I. j- Oh my God. He hit the mound and okay, just go home. Opposing team, go home. Don't bother coming to bat. Don't waste your lung capacity. It's over.
Mm,
Mariano will just put you to sleep. Uh, I'd like to talk more about the New York history in a later time in the
mm,
video, but the historic run that it proves two things. 27 victories proves two things: deep pockets and smart management. And
mm,
I'm not talking about George Steinbrenner. He's just got a checkbook in front of him. I'm talking about the Billy Martins, the Joe Girardis, the men that really orchestrated on the field. Movie Moneyball, that completely agrees with my above statement.
mm,
I If you haven't seen that Brad Pitt movie, it really is truthful and how Steinbrenner, I'm sure he's not doing anything illegal, but yet Oakland and other AL teams can't keep up with the talent. Uh, uh, Shoot, I'm with the source in front of me, but the lack of God, guys, try to fill me in. The AL is missing one of those big collegiate words
mm,
to keep up with 27 stinking World Series victories. It's either the cap, the
yeah.
monetary cap, or the intellectual capacity.
Mm,
What's your opinion?
Uh, the I'm looking up on. I have a computer. I'll just be honest. I have a computer right in front of me. I'm looking up all these stats, and I see 3 players from the Yankees who have been in a World Series. One of whom, Anthony Rizzo, who is hurt with a finger right now. You got Garrett Cole, who granted, is amazing, but he's only pitching for 1 day. Or no, you get like if it goes to Game 7, he might pitch 2. I don't think you can pitch 3. But and Juan Soto. For the Dodgers, you have a whole list of people. Their 4th time going to a World Series since 2017.
Mm,
Wow.
Un-
Wow.
And I'm just thinking, like, so the Yankees, like, they have, like, yeah, they have the history and everything, but Aaron Boone and even Judge, they don't, they've not been there. But like,
yeah.
and it's kind of an interesting, or it's a little interesting because they've shown up this postseason when they were playing the Guardians. Rocchio for the shortstop for the Guardians, and even Ramirez, their star third baseman, and we're kind of making some fielding errors, and you could tell it's like bottom of the 7th, top of the 8th. It was crunch time, and it was just simple, small stuff. And then all the Yankees players they came through, and with similar sorts of situations.
Mm,
So it's gonna be fun to watch because I look at the past, but then at the same time you have to look at like, okay, what's actually happened this post for the Yankees.
exactly. I mean, you make a great point about how relevant the Dodgers have been in appearances here in the last decade. Even, I mean, like you mentioned, since 2017, they've been to 4 World Series. And the Yankees, I mean, they've got tons of world titles, but they haven't been as often as the Dodgers in recent years. So that can definitely be a huge factor when it comes down to crunch time down the wire.
Yeah, I think like 2006 maybe is,
Hmm.
or it's been a while.
But do we have any final last words about that topic, or do you guys want to move on?
I'm good.
I'm
All
good.
right. So, next topic at hand. What are the Dodgers' biggest strengths heading into this World Series?
Easily home field advantage.
Mm, I love that answer. I mean, home field it can make or break an opponent.
Winning one game on 3, 4, or 5 can solidify it all.
Mm,
Especially going to Yankee Stadium.
really?
Oh man. Yeah.
E- The I even on TV you see the difference between Yankee Stadium and
Mm,
fans. Everyone they have a little chip. They're the ones that are not afraid to boo their play. They don't score a run and or something. Like kind of
yeah.
crazy.
Mm, I get that.
Winning just one game at New York will be extremely difficult for LA. If they can
Mm,
manage one and sweep at home, not even sweep, excuse me. If they just win 3 or 4 at a home and take one at New York, game over. Yeah.
mm, exactly. I think,
Shohei,
yeah.
you
You
go.
go ahead. You go ahead.
I was wondering if Shohei was pitch if he's I know he's batting, but sometimes in the year he was unable to pitch, and I didn't know if he was pitching this year. I would like to. It would be cool to watch him pitch at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. Imagine that they said, "Oh yeah, no, he's not pitching this entire year." Brings him out to pitch in the World Series, the biggest time of the year. That
I
would
have that
be.
in my notes, and you got me, buddy. Absolutely. I fully agree to that statement. I haven't seen Shohei pitch yet. I'm sure he has, but I not on these eyes. I haven't seen it.
Mhm,
Something I want to add. You mentioned LA's strength. I want to mention one of LA's weaknesses. I believe Aiden mentioned his name, Freddie Freeman, a little while ago.
mhm,
Anybody out there? I mean, again, internet's not always 100%. I see he's day to day with an injured ankle, but he's
mm,
guaranteed in the lineup game one.
mm.
So now I'm showing my age right here, but this reminds me of 1988 when I was 6 years old, watching Dodger Kirk Gibson walk off home run in the World Series. I was in my living room doing the trot, doing the As Kirk's going around second, I always imitated it, putting couch cushions on the floor. And Mama, what are you doing? It's like, I won the World Series. I'm going across doing the fist. I don't. Am I too old? You guys remember '88 with Kirk Gibson, Tommy Lasorda bringing in injured Kirk? Gibson was injured. He injured both legs.
Mm,
One was a torn hammy, and the other one was a swollen knee.
man.
Against Hall of Famer. I forgot about this. Kirk was going up against Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley of the
Mm,
Oakland Athletics in the World Series.
whew, man.
Scully did the perfect play-by-play. He did it. It's out of here. And Kirk's and I fully see Aiden. If I'm wrong, please stop me. But I think Freddie Freeman has the possibility to pull off a Gibson going around the bases with an injured ankle as he gives a fist bump to himself around second base.
Mm.
The no doubt sure has the capability of doing so, batting like 330 every season. And I mean his talent level is it's off the charts really. And he's kind of underrated and I mean he's up there with he's nipping at the heels at the Judge stats and yeah.
I guess one thing you could tell about him, at
Mm-hmm.
least for his batting average or just his hitting in general,
Mm-hmm.
for the Dodgers, you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to be pretty consistent. You can rely upon him. But this injury, though, PTSD, you make a great point, my friend. You make a great point about how his injury, I mean, it could plague the Dodgers a little bit, but more likely than not, I think he's going to power through this ankle injury and showcase his ability at the biggest stage.
I want to see a home run from Freeman, a repeat Gibson, big time.
That would be amazing. But we'll go ahead and transition to the next topic, guys. So, what is the one underrated player for Dodgers that needs to perform in order for them to win?
Mm.
I've got my answer. Aiden, are you good?
You go ahead, yes, sir.
All right. I spoke to him earlier, and we're gonna definitely tap more into this keg. Dodgers Tommy Edman. He must continue being an RBI machine. 4 RBIs during Game 6.
Mm,
He will be an absolute catalyst, a must. He's got to perform 10 plus. Without Edman, Dodgers can win. Will they? Probably not.
mm.
Bringing men home and playing small ball is where Edman prevails.
That's a great point. I'm actually going to piggyback off of your uh, statement, if you will. Edmund, I'm taking. I think he is extremely vital to the success of this team. I mean, he's extremely fast. His just intelligence, knowing when to steal bases as well. I mean, a lot of people don't have that in
True.
their system.
Very true.
They don't know when to go or when to stay. So he has that down pat, and I would like to see him steal a few in game one just to provide uh, some reassuring confidence for their team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the. Oh no, never mind. I'm looking at a past game for the Mets. Uh, what do you guys think about Teoscar Hernandez?
Oh, Aiden, you got me. I forgot about Teosco. Go ahead. Yep. Your floor is yours. Shoot, forgot about it.
I mean, I just remember watching games and him and being in it, and he would hit. He would have a game with like 2 doubles and a homer, and he's not one of the guys. It's like you expect it of him, but it's almost like he's kind of the tipping point and on how good the team can actually be. And
Mm,
then on the same kind of page, I'm looking at Max Muncy, and
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
you got Shohei and you got Mookie and you got Freeman. I would say those are the top three. You got Freeman who's hurt right now. Okay, he went up to that bat and then he struck out. He came back and he looked at Dave Roberts and it was like that little side camera and he just like shook his head at him. No, and you can see when he's like at the bat, he's just not that comfortable.
mm.
And he really too. Okay, so that means Mookie and um Mookie and Ohtani, and then but is that enough? So it's like you gotta have the Enrique, you gotta have Muncy, and then I mean Edmund. He played with us for his whole career before he went over to the Dodgers, and he's a good player, but if they want any chance to win, they have to have someone like Edmund Hernandez to go on a super hot streak because
Mm.
Freeman didn't. He wasn't looking so hot on the previous series.
I mean, you make a great point with that being said that a lot of these top teams, they have superstar level talent, but that glue in between is so vital. Those role players are even better. I mean, like the in between the superstar to the role players, those good players, you got to have them to win a championship.
I
Yeah,
like what you said, glue. I want to say one more thing before we go into the next topic. Glue. That's exactly what the Philadelphia Phillies did not have. We did not have that mesh.
Mm,
Talent was here. We were here,
yeah.
never here,
Mm,
never. We couldn't. It was either pitching, hitting couldn't come here, or the entire batting lineup couldn't come here.
exactly.
The World Series is where you need. For crying out loud, I almost was able to say it without stuttering. In the World Series, you need absolute teamwork personified. Without teamwork, just give away the ring. Don't bother with the flight. Stay with your family. It's not worth it. Teamwork is absolutely a necessity in the Big Show.
Big time. I mean, it's cliche, but teamwork makes the dream work. So, yeah.
I'm a sailor. I agree.
Austin Wells. He's a catcher for the Yankees. He was batting between Stanton and Judge, and, between the two guys, because
Mm,
and he same thing in the regular season too. And and then you want to tell me that Giancarlo is going to slow down anytime soon, and then not to mention you got Juan Soto before Aaron Judge, who like is one of the best at getting on base, whether that's on balls or whatever, and then or anything, and then Verdugo came at clutch. The Yankees just have
yeah.
they're a little more on fire in my opinion, but Dodgers always compete. So
Absolutely. And I
Mm.
mean, you mentioned a great point about Juan Soto. He is looking incredible right now on a hitting streak.
oh
His
yeah,
bat's on fire. I mean, he is at an all-time high right now. And the Yankees got Soto firing on all cylinders at the right time.
hmm
So,
I mean, imagine like Judge is even playing hot right now. Imagine if he gets it's over.
and I mean, especially if Shohei goes up there and starts pitching.
Yeah.
Oh, please let that happen. Oh, if there's a
Oh.
baseball god, please let that happen. Oh, yes.
Oh man, but
Shohei pitching World Series. You want to talk about solidifying yourself as immortal? Bingo.
mhm. That leads me into my next question, guys. So, in what ways do you think managerial or coaching strategies influence the postseason success for both teams?
I've got one statement and 8 nuts is all I got.
Yeah.
Kudos to both managers, knowing when to pull the starting pitcher, not too early and not too soon. Again, I fall back to my damn Philadelphia Phillies. Rob Thompson had that itchy trigger finger. He pulled out Wheeler, Nola way too soon, and the crappy bullpen just blew so many games during the postseason.
Mm,
Well done to both teams, LA and New York. Uh, yep, hats off to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Yankees in specific. I'm thinking about when they come to the Dodgers in the first couple of games in the game 1 and 2. Yeah, game 1 and 2. They might play game 3, but their bullpen. The announcers talk about it of how they carry the team, or I mean, they
That's
just
huge.
yeah. And so I'm thinking if they go into Dodger Stadium and they have to use a lot of their bullpen pieces, and when they get back to Yankees and Yankee Stadium and have their bullpen is gone because they pitched the other day or 2 days ago. I mean, it kind of doesn't work out because on the third or fourth game, you got your third or fourth best pitcher, and Carlos Rodon and Derek Cole are probably going to be pitching in games 1 and 2 at Dodgers. And Rodon, he pitched good, but you're talking about Nestor Cortez, Luis Gill. And this is what I got like on the screen right here. But I don't know if it's how accurate it is. But Clark Schmidt, I don't know. Like they're gonna be asking a lot of those guys in game 3 and 4 and 5 and at Yankee Stadium if if they want to make it, yeah, because they're both might not be they'll make it, but who knows?
Whatever outcome we see, I'm sure it'll be entertaining at its finest. At least I'm hoping for an entertaining series.
Speaking of entertaining, JT, before you get into the next topic, you're talking about entertaining, nothing at all about baseball. Former mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani. Did you see him in the dugout, or did I have an illusion, an elliptical illusion in front of my eyes? Rudy got himself a spot in the dugout. Now, obviously, he did great justice during 9/11. God bless him. He did a great job. But how did politics get into the dugout? All right.
That's true.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of faces you don't normally see on a baseball field.
Absolutely. He made a great point with that one. Um, any final thoughts before we transition?
Nope.
Right. So, next topic. What should we expect from Shohei Ohtani versus the Yankees?
Ooh. He won't get a hit.
Oh man. I'm
I
gonna
was
put
kidding.
that as the caption for the video.
JT,
Oh,
I'm
wait, go.
hearing things with Rudy, and now I'm hearing things with Aiden. Did I just hear this? Okay, well, I'm going to chime in, and Aiden can probably follow along. Shohei must absolutely utilize his speed as a base runner to get into scoring position during the World Series. You can't sit on first base and expect anyone to bring you home with one swing. It's going to be insanely difficult with, as Aiden just mentioned, the bullpen, the starting lineup for the New York Mets, crying out loud, the New York Yankees. It's stellar, top notch. It's the World Series. What else do you expect? In the last month for Ohtani, he stole 19 bags, 19 bases. I mean, if you want to be immortal, I'm going off what I just said about 5 minutes ago. That's it. You want to be on the relic and to be known forever. Get on the mound and pitch in a successful like series against Judge or Stanton. You want to like make records for like getting X amount of hits and X amount of stolen bases. This is your time, Shohei. Time to shine.
Absolutely. I agree full-heartedly with what you said. And I'm sure Aiden wants to go back to his original statement.
Not that serious, guys. I was just joking. No, I'm just thinking about where they're going to put him in the lineup because
Oh,
you're
good
that big
question.
player. I'm thinking about Albert Pujols back then, and even Judge. Now, where you put them in the lineup? Okay, how do you pitch him? Can we pitch him? Oh crap, you got Mookie right behind him, and Freeman ahead, or Freeman, Shohei, and Mookie or something like that, and so the Albert Pujols, he was such a great hitter. His aroma of just a great player was almost more than what it actually was. Going back to what I was saying, like some players can go over 4, over 3. I mean, this game's hard. So, and every time someone like of that caliber comes up to bat, I mean, you just can't expect it every single time. I mean, granted, it's baseball. I mean, you want. It might happen, but I don't know if that makes sense or not. But yeah,
No, I totally agree with what both of you guys have just said. I'm gonna reiterate some things. I mean, it's vitally important for the Dodgers to position Shohei in strategic ways to help them succeed in this World Series. And ultimately, you've got to have a keen sense of stealing those bags. Um, but I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I'm just gonna say it. I think Shohei has at least 3 homers in this series. At least 3 or 4, I would say.
oof.
I'd
I
say 4.
the Yankees had home field advantage
Mm,
because he's batting on the he bats right-handed, and the right field line of the Yankee Stadium is very, very shallow in.
I love
And
that statistic. Well done.
mm.
you know, but
That's yeah,
I
yeah, that's very intriguing. It could make a huge difference. You never know.
Yep.
yeah,
Full.
I know,
But but hey,
Aiden, how the heck did you know that? I spent 2+ hours trying to get stuff together, and this guy knows Yankees right field. Well done, Aiden. I'm jealous. Good job, sir.
yeah, good man, thanks.
all right, guys. Transitioning to our next topic. So we've got: does it mean more for Aaron Judge and his legacy, or Shohei's legacy with a World Series championship?
Mm,
I want to go. I
I'm
want to
gonna
go last. Whoever goes first does not matter.
I heard crickets for about 5 seconds, so I was gonna politely raise my hand like we're in second grade. Mrs. Miller, I know the answer. Okay. Again, I'm showing my age, gentlemen. In the 80s, it was all about two monsters, Godzilla and King Kong.
Mm,
Loved every movie, especially when they went together and they fought each other. I mean, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Uh, when I hear Judge and Otani, I think of those two monsters. We are witnessing without a shadow of a doubt. I don't care if you are a Yankee hater or a Shohei hater. We are witnessing two shoe in Hall of Famers. Don't bother giving negative criticism to this video. It's going to be true. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, they're going to be wearing that jacket. Definitely something to tell my grandkids. I'm in awe. Being a Phillies fan, I'm distraught knowing my Phillies didn't make it, but these two collide. Like, check out the trailer, the movie trailer, Godzilla, King Kong. They just like it's
yep.
like massive like eruption, and that's what you're gonna see with the Yankees and the Dodgers. Just um what's that called on the earthquake? What's that called? The meter. It's gonna go
Mhm,
off the chart. Seismic meter, whatever it's called.
mhm.
There's gonna be an eruption in LA and in New York.
I think, yeah. I'll let you speak on it, Aiden, and then I'll give my opinion towards it.
all right, all right. What statement's worse, or more? Yeah, which one worse? Shohei Otani not ever having a World Series, or Aaron Judge not having? I think
I mean,
it's I think it's Shohei.
mhm.
You're talking about. I mean, he in year 1 or 2, he came into the MLB, and people weren't blinking an eye about saying whether or not he was just as great or greater than Babe Ruth or any of the other great. Like, he is in my opinion, he's the best player, um, and it's really not even that close, just because of the both pitching and batting. But it's like saying Michael Jordan doesn't have any like any rings or anything like that. And I mean the same for Judge. I mean it's the same, and he's a Yankee. He's a Yankee and stuff. And but Shohei's the tops on this one, I believe.
Mm, absolutely. I love what both of you guys have said,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to say Aaron Judge, respectfully, it means more to him or in general because number one, the Yankees, they are America's team. The pastime of baseball. Yankees, New York Yankees. Everyone was a Yankees advocate back in the day. Maybe not so much now, but back in the day it was. And I do believe that the Dodgers will be back in the near future. They're set up for success,
Yeah.
more so than the Yankees. The Yankees have a lot of aging vets on their team. And I mean, Aaron Judge is still, he's in his prime, but I feel like Shohei is going to be back plenty and often. So if Aaron Judge were to lose this mammoth clash, like PTSD mentioned, uh, I mean, it is just Attack of the Titans, if you will. I just don't see him coming back in the near future. Godzilla versus King Kong battle. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But if he was to lose this matchup against Shohei, it would be demoralizing for his legacy. If he wins, however, you can say you beat the best player in the sports history at the biggest stage. So I think it means more for him to win.
Before we go on anywhere else, I want to compliment both of you. One, I finally thought of the word. It takes me a while serving my country. I don't have the best memory. Richter scale. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh,
It's going to
okay.
be a seismic Richter scale
Mm,
personified with these two like freaking monsters just colliding. And Aiden,
Mm-hmm.
yes, Shohei is absolutely, I don't want to say unstoppable because the only one unstoppable is Shawn Michaels from the WWE. I'm just kidding. The
Uh,
showstopper. Anyways, I'm getting off track. But yes, Aiden, you're absolutely right with Shohei. He's got so many other not virtues, that's biblical. So many other talents that Judge does not. With stolen bases, hits, home runs, stolen bases. I think I said that already. He's got at least five to bring to the table. I think Judge is only at two or three.
mm.
So if Shohei can contribute, especially on the mound, if Shohei hits the mound and contributes, yep, just give him the red carpet to Canton, Ohio. Canton, Ohio. Wait, that's football.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys know what I mean.
yeah. That would be incredible. I mean, two of the game's best players. I mean, regardless of what you think, if you think it means it's more for Aaron Judge or if you think it's more meaningful for Shohei, it's going to add to these guys' legacy regardless. So it'll be hopefully very entertaining, and we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, I have a movie ticket. I'm ready, buddy. I've let's do this. Shohei
Absolutely.
Judge Part One Friday. Let's go.
I
Judge is
cannot. Yeah.
old. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
Like
good.
Judge is 32 years old. You were saying about how he probably doesn't have that big of a chance to come back in the future just because of the age of veterans and stuff. And
Mhm.
32, it's not over the like rooftop old or something like that. But and then Shohei's about 30. The thing about the Yankees though is the they went out to get Soto. They got Stanton. They have the ability more so than any other teams to go out and just buy some of the greatest players. Yeah. So next year they could have Jordan Alvarez, or they could have. I
Ellie
mean,
De La Cruz.
they. It's like that's the thing. They have the history of the pinstripes to come, and players have bought, or else Soto wouldn't have gone to the small market Washington Nationals to the Padres back to the Yankees or something like that.
Mm. That's a very good point about how the Yankees market is extremely vital to their team's success. I mean, they can literally just buy players and afford them because of how large of a market they have.
Mhm.
I want to erase my hiccup. It wasn't Canton, Ohio. It's Cooperstown, New York, Baseball Hall of Fame. Excuse me, guys. I've got so much knowledge rolling through here, and I'm expecting so many questions. I don't know what comes out of here. You should see what goes on in the hamster wheel. Sometimes the wrong stuff does spew out. Cooperstown, New York. welcome in Shohei and Judge anytime soon.
Absolutely. But this begs me to my next question, gentlemen. Who do you think America's rooting for in this World Series matchup?
Okay, I
Mark,
guess I'll. Oh, go ahead, Aiden. Oh, excuse me.
you're all right. Probably the Yankees, just because. Oh, what's baseball? Oh wait, I know. That's about it. I mean, people are kind of ingrained to know. I mean, the Yankees and baseball are very heavily correlated. But at the same time, the Dodgers came from Brooklyn back then, and not that it probably has that much of a matter right now. But I mean, if they ask if you oh, what's the second that you know of, and they know nothing about baseball, it's like, oh, I think there's a Dodgers team. I mean, they'll write it up. So I mean, uh, yeah.
That's a very good point. What do you think about it,
I
PTSD?
fully agree with Aiden, 110%. I served a piece of my military service in Japan. Tons. If there's a word above tons, I'd say it. Japanese fans love the Tokyo Giants and the New York Yankees. Those are the only two teams that the Japanese base know about. I mean, Japanese baseball is very popular, but
Absolutely.
the New York sorry, the New York Yankees of Japan is the Tokyo Giants.
Mm,
I think I said that correctly.
yeah.
Yeah, the New York Giants is the New crying out loud. The New York Yankees is the Tokyo Giants overseas.
Mm,
So therefore, obviously, a swarm of Yankee faithful in our beautiful nation right here. Those Aiden's right. Those who don't even know the game, those who come here from another country, they don't wear Phillies, they don't wear Astros. Aiden, what do they wear?
The
Yankee
Yankees.
pinstripe. Exactly. Yep.
absolutely. I mean, you guys just nailed it on the head. Just to piggyback off of what both of you guys have said. I mean, nationally, people who don't pay attention to a lot of baseball, they know the New York Yankees. They don't absolutely know who the LA Dodgers are. Even like you mentioned PTSD, you mentioned that the Japanese people, they loved the New York Yankees. So it's not even nationally based. It's a worldwide market. So they get that recognition all over the globe.
Yeah, and it is kind of ironic, kind of a little funny that Shohei has brought half his country with him.
Good
That's
point.
very true. Great point. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, that's great for baseball. I mean, the engagement with different audiences all over the world, and that'll just go to show if our predictions are correct about it being the highest viewed World Series ever, it may have a huge contribution to that being overseas.
Hmm.
I have a little contribution to this one topic before we go on to the next. I went to a Tokyo Giants game when it was still peacetime. Everything was fine in the world. Went to a Tokyo Giants game. Guys, you honestly see, especially the cameras show you on TV, kids or even adults on their phones just some guys are sleeping in the bleachers and just are you serious? In Japan, everybody is standing. I don't know why they have seats. They have these things called thunder sticks. They're clacking these things. It could be a 1-1 pitch coming in the bottom of the second, maybe a man on base, and they're acting like it's a World Series. The Japanese are absolutely ecstatic. I love their enthusiasm. I wish Americans were the same way.
That's why you don't become a Cubs, making beer snakes in the outfield.
Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing to see their passion and their enthusiasm for the sport and
I want to see that
yeah.
enthusiasm at the World Series, like Aiden was speaking of. Ohtani, I hope he brings a lot of Japanese with him because their enthusiasm, JT, you won't want to miss a second.
100%. I will definitely be tuning in for that. But all right, before we give our World Series predictions, PTSD play by play has a history lesson for us.
Ladies and germs, let's get your pens and paper ready. All right, no, I'm just kidding. I'm really not that smart. I'm reading off of paper too, guys. Um, again, I my grandfather taught me this stuff. I am not a Yankee fan by any heart. I love my Phillies through and through, but I respect baseball. My pappy taught me about Reggie Jackson, number 44.
Yeah, he's
Juan Soto has a very much like number 44 Reggie Jackson swing. Number 44 Reggie Jackson is forever known as Mr. October because of his iconic 3 home runs during game 6 of the World Series. Now you're thinking this guy's unstoppable. Don't get in his way. In 78, the very next year against the Dodgers in the World Series, he meets LA pitcher Bob Welch, records the final out of game 2 against Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson. It just proves to you right there, guys. I'm glad you didn't give your predictions yet because nobody walks on water. Reggie Jackson, 3 stinking home runs in one game in the. I mean, come on. Who in the world is going to stop him? Oh wait, he can be stopped. So just when we think we're right, guys, we honestly could be wrong in the same sentence. Um, New York Yankees versus the Brooklyn Dodgers. Yes, I'm not that mentally off, guys. I said Brooklyn, not LA. Bronx Bombers' historic 27 World Series victories certainly includes 3 times when Brooklyn fell to the New York Yankees. But Dodgers tasted their revenge with a World Series victory of their own in 55. 2 years later, they went to LA. The Dodgers moved to LA, the city of angels. Now, will Angels have the Dodgers back?
Mm,
And P.S., along with that, now that I'm thinking about it, the Yankees roster in 27, Murderers Row with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. I mean, it was wait, let me try to get this straight. If I remember correctly, it's over 300 batting average and a record. The they okay. Wait a minute. I think I'm getting it now. The opponents gave up. Sorry, the Yankees only gave up 376 runs, or they shoot. I think I'm saying it wrong. They outscored their opponents by
mm.
376 runs.
Wow.
That
Whew.
it's been a while since I said that statement from my pappy. It took me a while, guys. Believe me, the gears are going. It takes a while for a 77 Chevy pickup to start again. But yes, they outscored their opponents by 376 runs.
Cool. That is truly incredible.
So
That's
Yankees,
wow.
well done. I mean, historic run. There it is, JT.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And enjoyed the history lesson, baseball. And I'm not a huge fan of baseball. Like you guys know, you definitely know more about the sport than me, but I'm certainly intrigued about all of the intricacies of the past of the MLB and certainly the World Series right now. But this leads us to our final debate or just conversation in general. All right. World Series predictions. I'll give you mine and Stash's little predictions real quick before I'll let you guys go. Um, so Stash says Yankees in 6. Since before the season, he said Shohei would not win a championship with the Dodgers. All right. So my prediction is I'm taking the Yankees in 7 games. I think Juan Soto hits the game-winning home run, walk off homer.
on game 7.
Yes.
All right.
28 victories total.
We'll have the score and predictions down below, guys. Let's hear it from Aiden and PTSD. Let's see it.
All right.
Phillies by 400 runs.
Who are the Phillies again?
Exactly, Aiden. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. How your Cardinals doing this year?
Uh, conversation.
Oh,
All right.
They're
Obviously, I've got bad blood with New York, but I can't let my fanhood get in between.
mm,
I'm booing from the Yankees all the way through just because my fanhood, but intelligence tells you New York in 5.
mm,
I
mhm,
think New York will take at least game 1 or game 2 in LA. And I believe Aiden spoke of it. how New York Stadium, especially with that right field line that I didn't know about. Thank you, Aiden, for that statement. Um, you you can't trump. It's like playing chess. You can't go over a king. It's just you can't put a piece over a king, and the king are the Yankees. You, I don't like the Yankees, but you got to respect them. They're going to win in five.
Mm, I like the pick. So we're 3-0 Yankees, Aiden. Are we gonna clean sweep the Dodgers? Are we?
See, a lot of it has to do with Flattery in game one. I mean, he was so hot, and then he bombed it on the fifth game versus the Mets. You got Yamanato is his name, I think. He's been, for what I know, he's been pretty good. He's not been the best. Uh, what a series, honestly. Let's be honest. What a series. I'm going Dodgers in 7.
I love it.
I'm going Dodgers in 7, yeah, because there's just something because Carlos Rodon for the Yankees. I'm just thinking about the top pitchers, and I'm just thinking of how inconsistent they have been, and compared to who has been the most consistent. And the Dodgers they just know what consistency looks like. I know that's a vague statement, but they have so many more players that have been here. Freeman is a class act. Um, I got the Dodgers.
I love it.
Anyone want to mention? No one mentioned this name yet. He doesn't play on the field, but he makes a pivotal. He makes pivotal points and pivotal moves throughout the entire game. Aaron Boone. Kudos to him. I mean, JT, you spoke of managers and how they're elite in A and B and what they're not great at, but Aaron Boone, he sticks up for his players when the strike zone is way too wide. He stands up, gets in front of the umpires. He gets tossed if he has to in order to make a point. And Aaron Boone just might be the catalyst to this 28th World Series victory.
Mm, I love it. I mean, great breakdown, guys. Aiden, thank you for not choosing the Yankees. So if we do lose our predictions, nobody will flame us in the comments. Imagine seeing a 4-0 sweep, all Yankees, and then the Dodgers wins it.
My Phillies are winning. I didn't say Yankees are definitely going. I said it first. Philly. I can't. How in the world can I pick Yankees or Dodgers over my Phillies? Just
Exactly.
yeah. So I hope the Cardinals. I wish the Cardinals the best next season. I know
Mm,
the Phillies are certainly licking their wounds, and there's a lot of pieces on the chessboard being moved around. JT, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity to be part of your podcast.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed you guys talking baseball with us leading up to the World Series, and our final World Series predictions is 3-1 Yankees. But appreciate you guys. Special guests we have PTSD play-by-play and Aiden. Thank you guys for joining us.
Bro, thank you.
Yeah, JT, it's a pleasure.